Hi Shashank, welcome to ELC's interactive series.
Hello, ma'am.
So, hello everybody. आज का हमारा session है with one of our students who is currently studying in IIM Nagpur. So, I welcome Shashank Sawant, who has officially completed 1 year with IIM Nagpur. And आज Shashank अपनी journey share करने वाला है कि how exactly is life at IIM Nagpur. All right, so should we start?
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
Okay. So Shashank, last year तुम्हारी admission हुई and this was during the COVID times. So how
Yeah.
has been the normal routine? How is the normal day at IIM Nagpur like?
First of all, I would like to thank you for having me on board. Talking about the life at an IIM, it could be summed up in one single word as rigorous. It is like really tough, especially the first trimester, because you happen to have a lot of things on your plate. Like you have your club inductions, club submissions, along with academics. They have pre-reads, cases, submissions, and you happen to do a few competitions along the way. So a lot of things are there, and you do not find enough time to prioritize each and every event. So at IIM Nagpur, to ease up this process, we have a program called Buddy Program. So they match you with a senior who has a similar kind of profile or a similar kind of hobbies with you,
Wow.
so that you get in sync and the transformation becomes easier.
Wow. This is something which I did not hear about the other IIMs. So this buddy program must have been really useful, where you can shadow a mentor and a mentor can guide you who has got similar interests like you. Excellent. How is the MBA education? So you are an engineer yourself, Shashank. How do you
Yeah.
find MBA education different from the graduation domain that you have had?
Yeah, I can see a drastic change in almost every aspect. First of all, graduation is like expertising in one particular domain or one niche domain. And even the pedagogy that is being followed, it is like a decade-old pedagogy. We are reading through books, which is not relevant to the industry. MBA is about transforming you as a person, not making you an expert in particular domain, but you are capable of handling any situation that is thrown at you. That transformation is done, and also it makes sure that you stay relevant with the industry you are getting into. Like we do not have any decades old lectures or anything, or any textbook rotting thing. We build our understanding on cases and discussion on. So that is a great learning we have.
Okay, that's nice. What is the distribution of your batch in terms of the diversification of different specializations, and how much of your crowd is really experienced, and what is the diversity in terms of gender that is followed?
Okay, so we have a good mix of batch. At IIM Nagpur, the average work experience is around 31 months, which is I believe the highest amongst all the IIMs. So we have people from various backgrounds. Most of them obviously are engineers. We have a lot of CAs as well, people from humanities as well. So we have a good mix of all the educational backgrounds. The gender ratio is around 8:2, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
At that point, yeah.
Okay. So that is one thing which probably IIMs are really working on, trying to embrace more of gender diversity. How is the study pedagogy that's followed in the online format especially?
Okay, yeah, like pedagogy is one thing that sets IIMs apart from other institutions. Like as I already mentioned, we believe in case-based discussion, and all learning is case-based only. So what happens is you'll be given few cases before the session. You have to read, analyze, and form a viewpoint on it. And when you enter the lecture, the whole learning happens on the discussion basis only. Like the professor wouldn't come and teach you like this is the concept, that is the concept. Like that thing does not happen here. Everything is based on that only. Apart from that, like it challenges your thought process, the pedagogy and the cases that we are having. So, for example, we sometimes you are given a case like you are an CX of a particular company, you're managing at like South American region, and that thing has happened in this region. Now you have to take a decision. What should be the next step? And you are sitting there and you don't know what to do. Like it challenges your thinking a lot. being from engineering background, my thinking was always restricted to engineering scope. Like I'll always think about the sustainability and whether this would cope or not. But now with the whole varied discussions and viewpoints of other people, I can look at a problem from operational features or financial aspect, strategic or scalable aspect. So that is one thing I've been learning here.
Wow. And how is the peer interaction that's happening in this current scenario?
Peer interaction, like we know, due to the online medium, it is quite restricted. But our seniors managed to have frequent Zoom sessions for us so that we could interact with them. Even before starting the college, we had ice speaking sessions. Like college had inducted few professionals for that, and I was one of the few people who enjoyed the online process as well, and I was on campus as well. So later half of my life, I spent at the campus. So we have a beautiful campus at IIT Nagpur. Uh, I met the seniors, my peers, and could discuss a lot and could do a lot of things together. And IIM Nagpur is really popular for the party culture it has. We believe in working hard and partying harder. So that's what we did.
So how long were you in the offline mode? I mean, for how many months?
Out of the 8 months, I would believe 3.5 months I was there.
Wow. But that's quite a big number, especially in the COVID times. At least you were fortunate
Yeah, it is.
to experience the offline life at IIM as well. That's great. Can
Yeah.
you talk about the committees and their working here at IIM Nagpur?
Okay, so as we know, IIMs are student-driven entities. Each and every aspect is driven by students only. We have committees like acad clubs, committees from mess committee, infrastructure committee. Everything is handled by students, from admission to student affairs to placement. There are near about 20 plus committees at our college. So initial days, what we have for the first 15 to 20 days, there's induction process. So like each club would do their induction activity on a particular day. The induction would last for around 7 to 8 hours. They would give us tasks and they would interest us, intrigue the students in their happenings of the club and committee. After that, you find about the clubs and committee. Then the EOIs are floated out, like which committees or club you are interested in, you would want to join. We need to submit SOPs of around 250, 300 words, along with a lot of different tasks that are given. And a huge process is followed to shortlist the proper amount of students who are fit for this committee. Apart from that, we also have something called Center of Excellences. So these clubs and committees are all student driven. Center of Excellence are like the pillars of IIM Nagpur, which focus on research domain a lot. So currently, they have inducted student bodies in them as well. There are few committees, centers which are active for students. That is IGRC, Indo-Japan Research Center, Center for Entrepreneurship, Center for Brand Management. In this Center of Brand Management, we have partnered with Lowell Intas, which is one of the biggest advertising agency in the world. So like we get to interact with the professionals who are handling different positions, and we get to throw out our ideas and hone our ideas while discussing with them.
Wow. And for the selection process, you necessarily have to go through a personal interview round as well?
Yeah, there are the personal interview rounds are really rigorous. Like each and every interview for a single club would last for around an hour or so. So like so the seniors really look through you, like whether you really want to join or not. So, and what you bring on the table, that's really an essential part.
Wow. Excellent. And that's very interesting. Can you talk about the events and the competitions that you have? And I've heard that especially in the IIMs, you have something called as the case study competitions. So how important are they for an MBA grad once he or she gets into the college?
First of all, the case study competition is really important for any person. Like it gives you like a small experience of what actually happens in an industry. So case study competitions are 2 to 3 types. First is the corporate case studies, which is released by a particular company. And you have to solve their problem statement by giving them suggestion or recommend them something. And on behalf of that, if you reach to the final stage, they might offer you PPI or PPO. So it is a really great opportunity for all the students. At IIM Nagpur, the competition culture is like really great. We participate in a lot of competitions. We have won a lot of corporate competitions, especially the recent VGuard competition, VGuard Big Idea Challenge. IIM Nagpur was the national winner. Along with that, Tata Crucible, Ambiro, we were the national finalists in those competitions as well.
Okay.
Yeah, talking about the other part, which happens at the college level. So, like all the clubs, committees, they happen to have their own case study competitions. I am part of the marketing club, so we have around 3 events in the whole year. And we are the only, I guess we believe we're the only college who has a flagship marketing fest. Along with the college fest, we have a marketing fest. In that, we have around eight events. We onboard a lot of sponsors for the event. So that is another learning opportunity for all the students who are part of the club and committee. And we organize this national level competition for the students.
Okay. That, I think this exposure is all the more important apart from the curriculum, because the fact is, once you get into a college, the lectures and the assignments are going to be a part and parcel. The sheer exposure towards these collegiate competitions and national level competitions is all the more important. Can you highlight or talk about the summer internship placement process that happens in the very beginning of the second year?
First is summer internship.
Yes.
Clear selection process you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. So, like initially, what the placement team does, they gauge the batch, they create profile for that, and they send out brochures to respective companies. And along with that, we have a preparation team who prepares the students for these interviews and all the things that are necessary with respect to that. There are few aspects that students wouldn't know beforehand. Like there would be case studies that like on the spot they are given to students, or they'll be given some data analytics. So students need to have that ability to think on the spot. So that has to come like intuitively. And that is what the preparation at the preparation stage happens at any IIM, and that's how we get to excel in our course.
And even in the internship process, you're supposed to face GDs, group discussions, and personal interviews?
Yes. Like from the SOP point of view and all. Later on, we have GD discussions and interviews. Like a few companies would have multiple rounds of interviews. One would be the technical round. One would be like a case discussion. They would give you a case that they are facing a particular problem in this domain, how the person tries to solve it.
Right.
In this, it is not important whether you get the right solution, but they look at how you approach the problem.
Right.
And that is what is important at this stage.
Shashank, any grooming tips for the MBA aspirants?
As in the CAT preparation or the later stage?
Both ways. I mean, in terms of a student who's aspiring to crack CAT, and second, who will be, who's probably given his GD and PI and will be about to enter in one of your colleges.
Okay. My first tip would be to see MBA life is all about managing your time, like how you multitask and how effectively you do all the things simultaneously. So first thing would be, if you're working, keep working and study for CAT simultaneously. A lot of students tend to do that mistake. I happen to be one who was working and simultaneously I gave CAT. So that experience helped me a lot in MBA life also. Along with that, talking specifically about the CAT examination, I was good with verbal and quant. One thing I struggled was DILR. So I used to practice a lot DILR, like while on bus or even in office, I used to have a DILR set. You used to ask me like, why am I not giving proper full tests? Because I did not have enough time. I was only focusing on DILR. Yeah, so that's how you can prioritize your things. And talking about the quant section, like I had a pyramid system for that. I focused only arithmetic, geometry, and algebra. I left out the other areas of quant, since the weightage for that is quite less. Like barely 2 questions are asked on probability and permutation, so I left out that. So I focused like with least amount of effort, how can I get maximum output? So that was about the CAT preparation. Now talking about how to get ready for an MBA life. MBA life is really hectic. I wouldn't suggest any hardcore things. Just be mentally ready to to see what you're going to face. Read a lot of books, watch few web series if you can. I would suggest a good one. You can watch Silicon Valley before entering into MBA. It really prepares you for that kind of life.
Okay.
So I would suggest that. And I had a good list of books. One of them was Rich Dad Poor Dad, like which drives your financial intuitions. And I have a good list. I can share that with you later.
Okay. Any certifications that a student can take or should take before joining an MBA college?
Certification, I do not think there's any need of having a certification. But rather, if you want, you can learn those skills. Like what people do is they tend to take those certificate for the namesake of it. So before entering into an IIM, you do not need any kind of certification. Although you can work on advanced Excel or PowerPoint or the basic skills that are required for any business professional. Along with that, there is no need to have any certification proof for anything. If you're serious about getting into specialization, you can do a few live projects while in MBA or before MBA as well. Certification is not necessary.
Not needed. All right. That somewhere sums up the entire 1 year journey that you've had, Shashank. Thanks a lot. I'm sure कि ये informative session काफी MBA aspirants को motivate करेगा कि क्यों IIM नागपुर में जाना चाहिए. We wish you all the very best on behalf of ELC and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me.